Hello, welcome back to another quick video. Today we're going to be looking at the metal volcanoes, the newest addition to the ranching upgrade, and this video is all going to be about how to get the metal from this volcano at a usable temperature. This is going to be a closed build, and to get around this what we've had to use is auto sweepers. Now, I do very much like closed builds, however I hate closed builds that end up needing maintenance later. So to get around this I've had to put a few steps in place, which I'll explain now. Now before I go on, the volcanoes in this game are very much random, so you may not be able to just copy and paste this build into your own playthrough without doing a few sums yourself and figuring out how much cooling you need. Basically the volcanoes themselves have different variables depending on whether it's outputting iron or copper. They output at different temperatures, different speeds and different amounts, so just bear that in mind when you're doing your own build. Now first things first, this room up here is a vacuum. I've made it a vacuum, and the only thing that we've got in here that's going to be interacting with anything realistically is this auto sweeper here. Now the auto sweeper is going to be collecting our metal from this plate, and this is basically a cooling plate for our metal to solidify on. Okay. Now the problem with that is auto sweepers, when they handle materials, do absorb some of the temperature of the material they're moving. So for example, if we've got liquid gold coming down here and solidifying, and this is moving boiling hot refined gold, it's eventually going to overheat, and this auto sweeper here will overheat at 125 degrees, at which point it starts taking damage and you have to get a dupe in and repair it, and it's a whole ball ache you can avoid. To get round that, I've basically got it in a little liquid bath. So I've decided to put some oil on the floor here, which my sweeper arms are sat in. Because the room is a vacuum, no heat is being transferred to anything that isn't in contact with this oil. Okay, so these are the only things getting cooled in the room. Now, this is dead simple. All we've got is a little bit of oil on the floor. We've got a thermo switch here, which is basically saying if you're above 20 degrees, pump some oil up here. Okay, and it pumps it up into the aqua tuner, which is sat in this oil here. Which then gets output through this vent and drips down, and it's just a fixed amount of oil just to keep this circulating. Dead easy. Now once the sweeper has picked up our refined gold that will land here, it puts it into this loader. Again, the loader needs to be cooled for the same reasons. They will overheat eventually. This loader is on a conveyor line which goes all the way down here behind this other loader and connects to all these receptacles. These receptacles is the first stage of our metal handling. This is where it sits temporarily. Okay. Now this sweeper arm here that's submerged, this sweeper arm collects the refined metal from these compactors, or these receptacles, sorry, and puts it into this second loader. Okay. Now this loader has a little bit of automation on it to basically say only run if you are below 20 degrees, and also only run for a fixed percentage of the day. And this you can change to whatever suits you really. I've got it just randomly at 9%, it doesn't matter. Okay, just so it's not always running, it doesn't need to be constantly running. Now, just to explain the rest of this chamber here, we've got a few metal tiles with a thermo sensor, and then we've got an airlock here that's basically stopping the heat transfer between this top chamber and the bottom chamber. In the bottom chamber, we've just got some wheezeworts and some hydrogen, simple as that. Basically, if this water goes above a certain temperature, this door here will close, which I can just show you like so, allowing our temperature to start transferring through the tiles up here. At the moment we don't need it, so it's open. So once the metal has been gathered into this loader, and once both of these signals are on, it then transports it down the conveyor line into these receptacles down here, at which point it should be at a manageable temperature. Okay, this is just basically signifying where your storage area is, or where you want to have some access for your dupes to come and get it. By the time the metal gets down here, it'll be at a manageable temperature. So we're talking like a comfortable temperature depending on what your liquid is up here. Again, do bear in mind that your volcano might be different than mine, so you may need more or less cooling depending on how your setup is run. But what I'll do now, we'll just let it run. This is about to erupt. You should see the liquid starts flowing off the sides, solidifies here. This will pick it up, put it into this loader, which then gets moved down here. Okay, and at this point we're basically taking the refined metal from here and putting it in this loader here. And our metal is currently at 23 degrees, 22 degrees, 21. When this sensor kicks on, which I can actually change to be a bit sooner for you. When this sensor kicks on here, our loader can now move the gold. And we've now got gold coming into this compactor at 15 degrees. Okay. And that's the build basically. You can see we have warmed up a little bit here, but now our Wheezeworts are kicking in and they can get rid of some of this heat for us and have it primed for the next time the volcano erupts. And that's it. It looks a bit more complicated than it is. It's dead easy. It's a nice way of getting all your refined metal if you do want it for, as I say, tweaking your machines. Obviously with the room bonuses now where we have the, the power plant bonus. If you wanted to tweak your machines and you needed a constant supply of refined metal, this is a great way to do it. Likewise, there will be other builds coming out soon. I am working on a couple of other builds at the moment to do with boiling and cooling and all sorts of different things with volcanoes, but this was just a little one on how to get the metal if you want it to be used. Simple as that. So I hope that helps. Any questions, please do ask in the comments. And as ever, much love, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.